Hey guys, how are we doing today? We're going to give you a December market update. Not only is it a December market update, we're going to talk about this legal battle going on in real estate that's going to take into effect next year. We're going to talk about the market trends and the forecast for 2024 based off of the numbers and the experience, not of just me, but among other realtors that I chat with in the business. Now, let's get down to it. Right now, we are looking at listed year to date, the listings that have been taken in the year 2022 and the year 2023. The system didn't let me go back to 2021, but I'd like to share just these last 2 years. Now, we're going to notice here that the number of listings taken in 2022 was 52,313. That means that 52,313 houses were on the market in the year 2022. Now, the amount of things listed in the year 2023, our year, dropped down exponentially to 41,799. Now, that is a little bit concerning. That is a 20%, negative 20% decrease. That means that there's less houses listed on the market, which means for all the buyers that we have, there's less inventory. In the year of 2021, I don't have the numbers, but it was actually more than the year 2022. So every year we are dropping the properties listed. What's more concerning is actually the average prices are increasing. So the year 2022, the average price for a single family was $780,618.87. Now, that is a general average of all of Massachusetts. If you guys want specific neighborhoods and areas, please let me know. But I want to do this for all of Massachusetts so we get an idea of our state because our state is important and the general overview of the state, it reflects everything. Now in the year 2023, it went to $864,425.02. That is a 10% increase for single families. Almost 11%, 10.74, almost 11%. That is, well, let me put it into context here. Every year, there's less houses coming onto the market, but the prices are getting higher because there's no inventory. Now, this year, actually, I also believe we're going to jump down to the average days on. Actually, I'm going to get down to this before I explain it. Now, let's jump down here. The average list price $708,242. An average list price in 2023 is $756,559. Now, I want to talk about the average days to offer here. 2022, 19 days is the average. Obviously, numbers range. This is taking an average of all of the single family listings. Some people saw 0 days to offer. Some people saw 60 days to offer, 30 days, 5 days. This is the average. 2023, it went up to 23 days. I want to explain why. It's not because there's less listings. Actually, that is the opposite of what would happen. It's actually because if you guys remember, the interest rates this year were doo-doo. They were not great. It went up to, at some point, 8.5%. And that's coming from, at the beginning of the year, it was 5.5%, 5, went up to 8%, 8.5%. Thankfully, right now, as of today, December 3rd, my lenders are quoting 6.25. Some person actually got a 5.99. So obviously the lender you work with is very important. So if you guys need lending or need any type of lenders, please reach out to me and my team. We'll get you over the list of lenders, our highly recommended list of lenders, that they're the experts in this area. Now let's get back to the numbers here. Listing units. So we're going to get here to price changed. Listing and price changed year to date. 2022, 2023. There were 11,000 price changes, 11,619 price changes. So that means that they either did a price increase or a price drop. Okay. In 2023, there were 8,870 price drops, or price changes. Now, those numbers seem fairly normal just because of the differences of numbers of listings that were on the market. If you remember, 52,000 in 2022, let's just use rough numbers, and 41,000, almost 42,000 in 2023. Okay. Now, the amount of units closed and sold for single families. Now, let's be specific here. Today, we're going to talk about single families and condos exclusively. There are 42,839 sold in 2022. 2023 to date is 33,538 listings in 2023. That is, again, a 21.71% decrease in inventory and units sold. Meanwhile, the prices have increased. Average sales price 725,000 and the average sales price in 2023 759,000. Okay, that is a 4.8% increase. All right, and the units sold. So, let's look at this. The list price versus sales price. You're going to see here that prices in 2022 went up from 702,000 average up to 725,000. Now, average list price to sold price in 2023, 749 to 759. Now, this isn't surprising because if we talk about it again, the interest rates were really bad this year. The average days on market was higher this year because not only were there less listings, but there were less options for people to purchase because of the higher interest rates. So it's not concerning to me with everything that happened this year in the market, but what is concerning to me is the fact that every year we're getting less listings on the market. And I'm going to jump into this next topic of next year's forecast in just a bit. We're just going to jump into actually let me get done with this here, the condos sales. All right, let's jump over here. So the condos listed in the year 2022 were 24,000. Let's just use rough numbers here. And then 2023 is 20,000. The original list price is 744,878 in 2022, and 2023 it jumps up exponentially from 821,862. So it got a 10.34% increase. Apologize, guys. My dog is eating my food on the table. All right. I'm not going to ruin this video, though. I'm focused. And the listings that had gone pending in 2022, 19,677 versus 2023, 16,607. That is a 15% decrease, 15.6% decrease. So I guess we're understanding a trend right now. The trend is among condos and single families in the state of Massachusetts. So we'll go units closed before that. 18,876 for 2022 condos, and 2023 15,471. 18% decrease. So the trend that we can understand here, guys, I'll jump back to this. Less listings, higher price, and the trend for this year is the higher interest rates, which led to essentially longer days on the market. Not because houses aren't selling, they're taking longer on the market because the buyers have to find more creative financing. This year, we've seen creative financing from sellers as well, giving seller credits to the buyers. So I actually got my clients a deal like that. Sellers paid to have a 3-to-1 rate buy down for my buyers, so they went down to a 4%, and they can refinance whenever they need to. That's another topic that I will not get into right now. If you guys want more information on that, please let me know. Now, we can go through all this again, but it is essentially the same thing among single families and condos. You're looking at higher prices throughout the years and less properties on the market throughout the years. Now, I'm going to be done with this. I'll clear this out. Now, I want to talk about the legal situation going on in real estate. As many of you know, and now that a lot of you that do not know, you're going to know now, there's a battle between people who have bought properties in America, let's not talk about Massachusetts, in America, they're suing big companies like Keller Williams, like, let's see, Century 21, different companies like that, because they feel that the sellers should not have been paying the commission to the buyer's agent. Now, coming next year, there's going to be a change that the seller is not required to give buyer's agent commission. Now, this is going to change a lot of things. This is going to mean that buyer's agents, lenders, and attorneys are going to come up with creative ways to alleviate the pain to buyers in this market. What does that mean? That means that, that buyers now may have to come up with buyer's agents commissions. So on top of your down payment, your closing costs, and all the fees in between, you are going to have to pay your buyer's agent. And our fees range from 2 to 3%. And that is, I think, a step in the wrong direction. Obviously, not all sellers are going to be doing this. Some sellers really want to sell their properties, and they're still going to give a buyer's agent commission, so that's not an issue. But some sellers will not be wanting to do that. So let's say you come to the situation where you're a buyer, you love a person's house, the buyer's agent is willing and happy to make the deal happen, but the seller is not going to give a buyer's agent commission, so you are going to be required to pay the buyer. So let's say you're a first-time home buyer. You're putting down 3.5% on a $600,000 home. I don't have a calculator on this computer, but I'm going to do it on my phone. 600,000, and you're going to have 3.5%. That's $21,000 you're going to come up with. Wait, not done yet. We're going to add closing costs. Let's say on the median, let's say it's $10,000. You're at $31,000. Wait, not done yet. Wait a second. The seller does not want to pay the buyer's agent commission. You're going to have to come up with an extra $12,000. So from $31,000, you're jumping up to a down payment, all in, roughly, an estimate here, obviously, $43,000. Whereas it would have been 31 with a buyer's agent commission included. So this isn't meant to scare you. This is meant to prepare you. Knowledge is power. Obviously, us as agents and lenders and attorneys and everyone in the field is going to try their best to make sure that this does not happen to you. And we're going to negotiate a deal that makes it work so that you do not have to come out of pocket for this money. This is actually going to be a thing that will be a common theme in the upcoming year. At some point, I believe in February or March, it may come into effect, maybe as early as January, but this is something that is going to happen. Now, this is concerning because it's going to increase the fact that, you know, how over the years it's gone from less listings to higher money, things like that. That's going to be affected because there's going to be, I anticipate this upcoming year, less listings, and people are expecting high top dollar for their properties, but the property is going to stay on the market a little bit more until the sellers realize that, hey, I'm going to have to pay a buyer's agent commission, because buyers are either not going to want to come up with the extra money. They are willing to come up with the extra money, but they're going to take time to alleviate and to mediate their funds. Or three, nobody's going to offer because, you know, let's say the $1 million price points, who's going to come up with a 2% commission for the buyer's agent unless it's a cash buyer who's willing to pay all that money. To the average buyer, like myself and other people, we use the loan programs and things like that, and we need help to, you know, finance a property. Now we're going to jump into the next thing, is the forecast of 2024. We talked a little bit about it with the laws that are going to come into effect, but I think that it's important to understand that I believe that since there's rumors about the government dropping at 6 times throughout this next year, the Fed is going to actually be dropping interest rates for home buyers. It's going to be a very confusing time in the market. Look at me just putting my hands to my face. It's going to be a confusing time in the market. It's going to be low interest rates. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of more buyers in the market. There's going to be less properties in the market. All right, so that would assume a bidding war, right? Buyers agents commissions are going to be paid out either by the seller or the buyer now. So it's going to be a mix of those three. I believe this year in the market, it's going to be pretty hectic. A lot of agents going to drop out. I mean, this year alone, 2023, 70,000 agents left the industry. Next year, I believe more agents are going to leave the industry. And it's going to be very tough for a lot of agents. But for the buyers, which is for you guys, I believe that it's going to take an agent with a lot of experience, a lot of creativity, and a team behind the agent that's going to make you and your needs, your goals, because your goals here, you don't care about all this stuff going on. Like, you have to be aware, but you just want your property. You want to buy your single family, your condo, your investments, whatever it is. You need to come out on top. It's very important for you guys to get behind a very strong team, very strong realtor, so that you can come out on top. Now, luckily, this isn't coming into effect yet. It's going to come into effect next year, but this is something to keep mind of and be aware of. So I hope this video helped you guys out. This is an update plus a literal forecast for next year. And if you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything of that sort, please reach out to me. My information is actually below. And I guess if you want to schedule a consultation as well, that would be ideal. That way we can both plan our days so we can chat with each other without interruptions. But regardless, this is Javier Hurtado Realty, and you guys have a great rest of your day. See you guys.